A caucus race. Any event or activity that requires a great amount of time, energy, and commitment, but which is or is considered to be ultimately pointless or random, serving no purpose at all. Hello and welcome to English with Justino, videos designed for you to learn English vocabulary, expressions, culture, and maybe even some grammar along the way. This video is for those already speaking English at an intermediate or advanced level. The idea here is to listen, read, and learn from a native English speaker in a natural way, the way you first learned your native language, by hearing it. Okay, forward we go. Enjoy! They were indeed a strange-looking party that assembled on the bank of the pool of tears, the birds with wet feathers, the animals with their fur clinging close to them, and all dripping wet, grumpy, and uncomfortable. Were the animals all still swimming in the pool of tears? No. The animals were all on the bank now. How were the animals feeling? Were they all happy and feeling good? No. The animals were on the bank, and they were all dripping wet, and they were feeling grumpy and uncomfortable. The first question was, how to get dry again. They had to talk about this, and after a few minutes, it seemed natural to Alice to find herself talking with them, as if she had known them all her life. She had a long argument with the parrot, who at last turned sulky and would only say, "I'm older than you, and I know better." And Alice would not allow this without knowing how old it was, and the parrot positively refused to tell its age, so there was no more to be said. Who was Alice talking to? Alice was talking to the animals like it was normal. Who did Alice have an argument with? Alice had an argument with the parrot. Why? We're not sure what the argument was about, but the parrot thought it was right because it was older. What did Alice think of this? She didn't agree with the parrot that just because it was older, it was right. At last, the mouse, who seemed to be the authority among them, called out, "Sit down, all of you, and listen to me. I can make you dry." They all sat down at once in a large ring with the mouse in the middle. Alice kept her eyes anxiously fixed on the mouse, for she felt sure she would catch a bad cold if she did not get dry very soon. Did the mouse have an idea? Yes, the mouse had an idea, and he was going to tell them about it, but needed them to sit down and listen to what he had to say. Was Alice worried? Yes, Alice was worried she would catch a cold if she did not get dry soon. "Ahem," said the mouse with an important air. "Are you ready? This is the driest thing I know. Silence all around, if you please." And the mouse proceeded to tell a very boring story about politics and government. It was a very boring or dry story. Did the mouse tell an exciting story about his adventures? No. The mouse was telling a dry story. Dry means to remove water from something. But in this case, dry also means something very boring. "Ugh," said the parrot with a shiver. "I beg your pardon," said the mouse, frowning, but very politely. "Did you speak?" "No," said the parrot hastily. "I thought you did," said the mouse. "I will proceed." And the mouse started making another long, boring, dry speech. "Found what?" said the duck. "Found it," the mouse replied rather crossly. "Of course you know what it means." "I know what it means well enough, when I find a thing," said the duck. "It's generally a frog or a worm. The question is, what do you mean by it?" What was the mouse talking about? It's not really clear, but he was talking about something named it. Did it make sense to the duck? No, not really. The duck understood what it meant, but the duck wasn't sure if it was the same thing as what the mouse was talking about. The mouse did not notice the duck's question, and quickly went on, continuing with a very boring or dry story. The mouse looked at Alice. "How are you doing now, my dear?" it continued, turning once again to Alice as it spoke. "As wet as ever," said Alice in an unhappy tone. "Your dry speech doesn't seem to me dry at all." What did the mouse ask Alice? The mouse wanted to know if his dry or boring speech was helping Alice dry out from being wet. Was the speech working? No. Alice was still wet, cold, and unhappy. "In that case," said the horse seriously, rising to its feet, "I move that the meeting adjourn. for the immediate adoption of more energetic remedies. "Speak English," said the turkey. "I don't know the meaning of half of those long words, and what's more, I don't believe you do either." And the turkey bent down its head to hide a smile. Some of the other birds called out their appreciation. What did the horse want? The horse wanted the meeting to stop so they could try another method of drying out. Why did the turkey tell the horse to speak English? The horse used a sentence with some big words when he said adjourn the meeting for the immediate adoption of more energetic remedies. Did this basically mean to stop what they were doing and try something else? Yes, pretty much, but also to use more energy doing it. "What I was going to say," said the horse in an offended tone, "was that the best thing to do to get us dry would be a caucus race." "What is a caucus race?" said Alice. Not that she wanted to know, but the horse had paused as if it thought that somebody should speak, and no one else said anything. "Why," said the horse, "the best way to explain it is to do it." What did the horse propose that they do? Did the horse want to do another boring speech? No. The horse proposed they do a caucus race. No one understood what a caucus race is or was. First, the horse marked out a race course in a sort of a circle, and then everyone was placed along the course here and there. There was no ready, set, go, but rather they began running when they liked and started when they liked, so that it was not easy to know when the race started or was over. However, when they had been running half an hour or so and were quite dry again, the horse suddenly called out, "The race is over," and they all crowded around it, panting, asking, "But who won?" What did the horse set up? The horse set up a circle race course. And then what did everybody do? They were all placed along the course here and there to race. How did the race start? Did the horse blow a whistle? No. Everyone just started running when they liked. How long did they run? They ran for about a half an hour. Was everyone still wet? No, they were not wet now. Everyone was dry. What did everyone want to know about now? Did they want to know who won the race? Yes. Everyone crowded around the horse and asked the horse who had won the race. The question of who won the race required a great deal of thought from the horse, and it sat for a long time with a hoof pressed upon its forehead while the rest waited in silence. At last the horse said, "Everybody has won, and all must have prizes." "But who is to give the prizes?" quite a chorus of voices asked. "Why, she, of course," said the horse, pointing to Alice with a hoof, and the whole party at once crowded around Alice, calling out in a confused way, "Prizes! Prizes! Prizes!" Who won the race? Did the horse win the race? No, not just the horse. Everyone won the race, and they all deserved a prize according to the horse. Who is going to give the prizes? Everyone thought that Alice was going to give out prizes for all. And now the summary in the past tense. All of the animals swam to the shore of the pool of tears and were gathered around wet, grumpy, and uncomfortable. They all were trying to figure out how best to get dry, so they had a meeting to talk about it. The mouse gave a very dry or boring speech to try and dry everyone out, but it did not work. Then the horse came up with an idea to run a race in a circle. Everyone ran in the race and came out dry. Then they all wanted a prize for winning the race and looked to Alice to give out prizes to everyone. Present tense. All of the animals swim to the shore of the pool of tears and are gathered around, wet, grumpy, and uncomfortable. They are all trying to figure out how best to get dry, so they have a meeting to talk about it. The mouse gives a very dry or boring speech to try and dry everyone out, but it does not work. Then the horse comes up with an idea to run a race in a circle. Everyone runs the race and gets dry. Then they all want to know who wins the race, and the horse declares that everyone wins. Then they won a prize for winning the race and look to Alice to give out prizes to everyone. The future. All of the animals will swim to the shore of the pool of tears and will be gathered around, wet, grumpy, and uncomfortable. They will all be trying to figure out how best to get dry, so they will have a meeting to talk about it. The mouse will give a very dry or boring speech to try and dry everyone out, but it will not work. Then, the horse will come up with an idea to run a race in a circle. Everyone will run in the race and come out dry. Then, they will all want to know who will win the race, and the horse will declare that everyone will win. Then, they all will want a prize for winning the race and will look to Alice to give out prizes to everyone. And that's the end of Chapter 3, Lesson 1. Stay tuned to find out what happens to Alice. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye-bye for now.